Hello tea and book friends, welcome back. So summer's starting to fade and I'm starting to look at what have I gotten done this summer and what have I not done that I wanted to do. And I was going through my cabinet and I found this tea that I'd been meaning to try all summer and hadn't. So I finally did. Royal Coconut by Tealuxe. It's a black tea and it's flavored with coconut. So I have a little bit in the dish. One thing I love about this tea is it's got fresh coconut in it. It smells coconutty. The leaves are really nice, big leaves. They've got a nice twist on them. And when you put them in water, they really unfurl and give off some pretty decent flavor. I made this particular tea because it's the end of summer. It's coconut, so I wanted to make it as an iced tea, which I did. It's kind of got a really light color. It's not got a lot of caramel. And I'm happy to say that the coconut is light and does taste more like coconut cake than suntan lotion, which is what I was afraid of. But no, it's very coconut cakey. It's more toasted coconut to me than fresh coconut, although they say it's fresh coconut. Either way, it's a very refreshing tea. So nice for a summer tea. And since summer's almost over, I'm glad I finally tried it. So a really good tea. Again, these tea leaves, I was very, very impressed. The one thing I would say about it is that to get even that much color in the tea took about a tablespoon of tea for that glass. I only made 1 cup and then I iced the cup of tea. And a tablespoon of tea for 1 cup of tea is kind of expensive. So I wasn't super happy about that. But still, really nice tea. Gonna have a little drink. Really, really nice tea, especially for late summer, because it's got that coconut as summer's starting to fade and fall's starting to start come into play. The book is an interesting book. So the book this time is called Your Second Life Begins When You Realize You Only Have One. It's by Raphaelle Giordano. This book is actually a French bestseller that was translated into English. It's, and I had heard about this book a few months back from a friend. So when I saw that it had been finally translated, and I was pretty eager to read it. It's a lovely book. I would give it a solid B. Here's the thing about it. The title kind of sounds like a self-help book, right? Your second life begins when you realize you only have one. That's the synopsis of almost every self-help book I've ever read. But this is a novel. So this is the novelization of every self-help book you've ever met. The heroine's name is Claire. She meets this guy named Claude who says he is a routineologist. I kind of expected the book to go off the rails at that point, but it did not. It stayed right on the track it was supposed to stay on. It truly is the novelization of a self-help book. And you see Claire go through this journey of redoing her life, not fixing her life, but rebuilding it, reimagining and rebuilding her life. And she reimagines and rebuilds her marriage with her husband and the relationship with her son. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's also a very pretty book with this light blue and the flowers and this pretty pink spine. It's a very pretty book inside and out. The inside of the book, the story is a beautiful story. But there's no like big bad. There's no one thing that she really has to accomplish that sort of pulled me through the book. The thing I kept rooting for her for. There was nothing I was rooting for her for. Sorry. There was nothing I was rooting that she do. That's what I want to say. She pretty much accomplished every task that Claude gave her pretty easily. There wasn't a whole lot to it. For example, one of the things that she keeps going back to is her relationship with her father, and how she would like to improve the relationship with her father, and how hard it was going to be to call her father and start doing these routineology tasks to fix that relationship. And the thing is that her phone call to her father and the resulting accomplishment of fixing that relationship is 1 page. And all the action takes place off the page. We don't get to see the action. We don't get to see that phone call with her dad, and was it tense, and was he defensive? We don't get to see any of that. And I think that would have helped make the book a little more interesting for me. So, not a bad book. As a matter of fact, if you are looking for a book club book, this is a pretty good book. It even has some discussion questions in the back, specifically for book clubs. So, again, it's a solid B. Okay, so, The Daisy. Again, our book, Your Second Life Begins When You Realize You Only Have One. Excellent title, excellent proverb for life, for that matter. Again, I'd give it a B. For this tea book combination, I'm going to give it 3.5 daisies. So the tea, I would give 4 daisies. It's a pretty good tea. I did have to use a lot to get any kind of flavor, especially with my iced tea. A tablespoon of tea to get a decent glass of tea is expensive in my book. And then this book, it's a lovely book. It's lovely. It's a lovely written book. But I was wanting the big bad. I was wanting something to root for her for. Daggone it, I keep saying that. I wanted to be able to root for her to accomplish something. And that never really happened. So for me, it was a bit of a letdown. And then all of the more tense conversations seemed to take place off the page, which I was kind of disappointed in. But if you're looking for a book for your book club, and it's a book that I think everybody can take something away from. And again, there are also discussion questions in the back specifically for book clubs. This is an excellent book club choice. Excellent book club choice. So again, 3.5 daisies because of the average of the two. There you go. In the meantime, remember that life is always better with a cup of tea and a good book in your hand. And I will see you next time. Bye.